Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hi, I'm Mand. So the last video, not the pick card, but the last video I did was on my autumn spooky decks or something like that, and it got me thinking of some decks that I'd recommend for beginners that want to kind of do that seasonal work, even though the reality is with Oracle and stuff, or Tarot, is that, to be honest, you can work with any deck any time of the year. It doesn't have to be seasonal, but a lot of us within the community like to work sometimes seasonally with our decks. So I actually have 3 Tarot and 4 Oracle deck. I don't know why this deck is here, to show some of you. And yes, some of them were in my autumn spooky decks, and I think 3 of them were, or maybe the Oracle decks weren't. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. It's not just the worst now. You do these videos and then you forget. But before we get into the decks, if you could like the video, subscribe, share with anybody that's interested in Tarot and Oracle. We kind of cover all things decks and spirituality, and we do pick cards here, and there's just a whole lot that I do here. It's kind of a mix mash of a lot of things, but really excuse me, based around spirituality and all that fun stuff, and occasionally the paranormal stories, but I haven't done those in a while, so I must get back into that. Anyway, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's go and do a walkthrough of some of these decks, or like showcase some of these decks that I think would be brilliant for beginners for this time of year. So the first ones I'm going to start with some Tarot, and you would imagine that I'd have taken a drink before I started, but anyway, take a drink with me. Are you having tea, coffee, maybe a mineral or fizzy drink, or I don't know what you call it around your side of the world. Let me know where you're from. I love hearing from you guys and commenting and messaging and all that stuff. So I only have 3 decks here because I wanted to keep it really simple, and that you're not going through a whole pile of decks and not knowing which one to get, which one not to get, what resonates, what doesn't resonate. So for a lot of us, we started off learning, and I will still consider myself a learner in Tarot, but most of us learned the Rider-Waite-Smith system, which if you don't know, I'm assuming a lot of you do know, but if you don't know, that's this style of deck, okay? Oh, so that's this kind of a deck. That's Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Radiant White one, if you're interested what deck that is. Most of us learned that. I know you have Thought, and there's Marseille, and there's just a lot of different systems, but the one that I use, the system, is the Rider-Waite-Smith. So anything that's like a variant of that, or a kind of copy of that, that would be my most preferred deck, to be honest. I'm going to push that in, otherwise it's going to fall out. So this top is driving me absolutely bonkers. Excuse me. So the first deck I'm looking at here, I'm going to recommend, is the Jack-o'-lantern, and I'm so sorry you can see a glare because the box is glossy, but this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. Not how you pronounce it, Lo Scarabeo, or Bio, and it is so cute. It has like pumpkins. I'm pretty sure I showed this in my autumn decks, but it's so cute. It has the pumpkins, it has the bats, and I literally only got it last year, so I didn't last October. It comes in a tuck box, which I'm not a big fan of, but we won't go there. But I didn't get to play around with it all that much, which is very, very sad for me. Really, really sad. You know, you swear the world was ending. And it has like these 2 cards inside it. Anyway, we're not here for that. We have a little white book with all the different, it comes in different, is it 3 or 4 different languages? I'm not 100% sure. But you have like tiny little snippets of explanations of the cards if you're not aware, but I always believe like if you have just a general book on the meanings, you can always Google them as well if you're still learning. That's totally fine. I love the backs of these. There we go. The two little owls and the pumpkin and the bat. I'm trying to go from watching the screen here, but they're not reversible. So if you do read reversals, then you might not like the backs on this deck. Personally myself, I don't mind. I don't read reversals, but I love this because it is completely Rider-Waite-Smith clone. And the cards are just so beautiful. And they're very detailed. There's a lot of detail that you can pick up from these cards, and you know, it does follow the Rider-Waite-Smith system. So like, look at that. She's a witch. I love this. And I love that as well. So it does veer slightly, but not so much that you wouldn't be able to pick up what's going on in the cards. I think that's a really interesting devil card because that kind of gives me is a deviant moon vibes. I don't have that tarot deck, I'll be honest. It's not one that I feel myself being drawn to. So I don't know how many, a lot of people love the deviant moon, and I don't know, I shy away from it so much. Even though it's kind of strange because I do like kind of darker theme decks sometimes. So yeah, that kind of gives you a rough idea. Yes, there's a lot of, as you can see, probably blue. There's a lot of blue skies that theme through it. It can be quite purple and orange, but I mean, that's the whole point. It's kind of that Halloween spooky season. So we will do the next deck. The next deck I'm going to recommend for beginners is the Dark Wood Tarot by Sasha Graham, and the art is by Abigail Larson. I always got this wrong. This is so beautiful. It's does follow the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's to discover your shadow self. But you don't necessarily have to use this for your shadow self, or if you're doing shadow work, I believe anyway. That's just personally my opinion. I think, oh sorry, and I forgot to say, it's a Llewellyn publication. They do like the nicest boxes, and I don't know, is everybody like this, but I love chunky boxes. I'll give out about like, I don't have space to store them, but I do enjoy them. I'm thinking of getting the Mermaid Tarot. Well, I'm not 100% sure yet. That's obviously not a Halloween deck, but I've just been feeling drawn to it, so I'm kind of like, will I, won't I? We'll see. So this is the chunky guidebook. I think everybody has heard about it. Like, it's illustrated. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my autumn's favorite, but we will quickly mention it here. So it's illustrated, and then you have a lovely information inside, and it just smells so good. It smells so good. I love that. And then that's the inside. Please don't fall. I am aware that a lot of people don't like, oh, did I just chase myself? I could have. Don't like the backs on these, which I can kind of understand and not at the same time. I like the backs, but I'm not really here for this. But you could pretty much do this reversal. So if that's your thing, then, you know, go for it. But these cards are perfect if you are like me and you shuffle like so. These size, I love this. Or just the regular Rider-Waite. Anything a little bit bigger is a bit more of a challenge. Like Oracle decks, love Oracle cards. They're definitely one of my favorite divination system. But they're hard for me to shuffle sometimes. Like I was gifted the Starman Tarot, but it's the limited edition one. Them cards are massive. They're massive, and I have to do shuffle like this, and I wouldn't be a big fan of shuffling like that. But anyway, I've yapped enough. Moving on. This deck, is dark. It's definitely dark. But I so think it's great for the autumn season. And if you're a beginner, I do feel for beginners, it's yes, it'll be a bit more challenging than your Rider-Waite Smith, but sorry, I'm moving this off camera. But the guidebook is phenomenal in it. And now this might not be everybody's style. I'm well aware that sometimes okay. These decks are a little bit harder. Okay. There's your Tree of Hearts, or Tree of Hearts. Tree of Swords. Tree of Swords. Oh my god. Yeah. Can you tell Mercury's still in the microwave? Are we gonna even talk about that? I'm not a big astrology person, but jeez. This one is kicking my butt. And I just like it. I'm gonna put it in front of my face because it's just not focusing. Yes, it's a bit dark and it is, but it's a beauty. It's so pretty. And I do think if you have a basic understanding of the Rider-Waite Smith, this shouldn't be a problem. But I love the artwork. It's so pretty. Like, look at that Six of Swords. And I haven't worked with this in a while, I'll be brutally honest, because I've gotten so many different decks that I've wanted to work with and whatnot. So yeah. But I do feel that this would be, and it's not as easy as the Jack-o'-lantern one, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Anyway, let's move on to the next deck. And the last deck we're going to talk about is, and I'm so excited, and I think everybody mentions this come autumn time or Halloween time, Samhain time, whatever you want to call it, is the Zombie Tarot. And I love this deck. I love this deck, and I'll be brutally honest, I don't bring it out half enough for the season. I have no excuses. Anyway, like, look at this box. If you just collect tarot, highly recommend. Okay, get this deck. If you don't have it, get it. Even just to look, sorry, I need to fix myself in the, just to look at the cards. They're amazing. This guidebook, so cute. Like, it just has enough little snippets inside it. And it's like little coupons at the back, and I think that's so cute. And like there's spreads there, and there's just a whole lot, okay? And then we have the cards, which these are the backs. And I love these. These give me such like 1950s, like definitely along the lines of the Housewives Tarot. It kind of follows the Rider-Waite Smith system, kind of, but to be honest, you could really just go off on your own intuition here. You can use the guidebook. I love that Lover's card. It's so cute. And there's just like, if you, this is the moon, zoom in, there's like enough details there to kind of get that story. Ow. To get that story that you're trying to understand, to get that message, to really hear. Like, I love this. Like, look at him. They have the door barricaded. And look at his little face. Oh my god. And all the zombies are trying to get in. It's just, it's a fun time, really, to be honest. It's a really fun time with this deck. And there's just a lot going on. And I really do feel like, don't let the little zombies put you off. Because to be honest, they're so part of the story in this. And like, they're having a party inside and the zombies are trying to break in. I mean, I love this. And just like, these two are going about their shopping. And then the zombies are all chilling outside. Like, but yes, that is the last tarot deck. I would highly recommend. Definitely go for it if you haven't got it already. You know I'm going to tell you go buy it, to be honest. Don't ever look to me to tell you not to buy a deck, because I will tell you to buy the deck. So I'm probably not the right person to do that. Anyway, let's get into the oracle cards now. Right, so the first oracle deck we're going to talk about. Sorry if I had to adjust. I had to actually go away and take a phone call, and now I'm trying to remember what I was even talking about. So, compose. I have 4 oracle decks here, and the first one I'm going to talk about is, I think it's quite an older oracle deck to the 3 that I have here, and this is the Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer, and I think this is a lovely one for autumn. I don't remember showing this in my autumn spooky decks, because it's not a spooky deck, but it definitely has that autumn / kind of winter feel. I definitely feel this is like an all year round kind of deck. So it is published by Hay House. I can't remember if I said that. I don't think I did. This is the guidebook. Nice little guidebook. And has all kinds of, all the descriptions. I mean, we all know how oracle cards go. I really like the backs of this. I'll be honest, I haven't worked with this in quite some time as well. It is glossy, but that's the backs, and I love the way the tree, I find it very easy enough to shuffle. I can be clumsy anyway, but for the most part, because glossy cards tend to stick, this is nice. How many? There's 48 cards in this. I don't know if I mentioned that, but now you know. And oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. I'm actually going to put it this way. And I think this is a fabulous time of year, because we're really coming back to center grounding. And I love the Ancestors card as well. Like, look at that. That has like all the seasons. And I don't know why I don't use this deck. Like, look at that whale card. That reminds me actually the way the Waves of Your Soul, her channel, Marine. She loves whales and stuff. I follow her on Instagram, and she has lovely ocean decks. I think that's where my inspiration of getting a mermaid deck came from, because I don't really as such resonate with whales, but I do like the idea. Like, I'm a water sign, mostly water and air, so I don't know how I don't. Oh, look at that, crystals. I love crystals. I have like ridiculous amount. So I'm trying to find, here's me trying to find to show you the autumn side of this. There we go. And they are all coloured differently. Like, look at that. Green Man, Synergy, Volcano. I like, look at that, Full Moon. There's just, this is just a really nice deck. It's really connected with nature. So I'm just going to push this to the side, otherwise this video is going to be ridiculously long. The next one I have, and again I do believe this could be used for both autumn and winter, is the Goddess Love Oracle. This is a Rockpool Publishing, and this is by Wendy Andrew. I think I did a walkthrough of this deck. I'm not 100% sure. I love this deck. I actually had to just put it away because all my other decks were just getting neglected, or all my other oracle decks. It is a smaller deck though. I think, yeah, there's only 36 cards in it, and personally I like more than 36 if at all possible. Like 48 is a nice amount, but if you know you can push it to 50, I do like that too. Kind of give me all the oracle cards you can. You know, that's kind of the way I would be, because the next deck I'm going to talk about has actually more cards in it. But these are the backs. Now it has a very Christmas, Yule type feel to it, and I'm here for this. I love this. But I was looking at the cards because I was like, it's not just a Yule deck. See, it's very autumn as well. So, and maybe a hint of spring. But I love this. And the Goddess Dream deck, that feels more springtime to me. And I love it. And I love the little animals. And it just has this lovely earthy feel to it. And it's beautiful. And I really feel for like beginners, you can take so much from the pictures, which is, I should have said that in the art magic as well. Like you can just take so much. It has like lovely keywords and like a little title as well. So, you know, it's not, and that's the card that's at the front, overly excuse me, overly complicated. So the next one might be a little bit different, but I wanted to include it because it definitely had that kind of autumn spooky feel to it. Not even spooky, to be honest. It's the Urban Crow Oracle, and I'm trying so hard to get the Crow Tarot by MJ. I'm not sure how you pronounce the last name, but here in Ireland we pronounce it Conan, but I don't know how you pronounce it in America, and I believe she's not from Ireland, but yeah, she's a Seattle-based artist, so she's from America. I should have checked that. But yeah, her award-winning Crow Tarot. And there's 54 cards in this, and this deck is so beautiful. I was working with this for like 2 weeks. Yeah, I worked with it for 2 weeks straight, a couple of weeks back. And I paired it with the Guardians of the Night Oracle because I don't have the Crow Tarot. And I'm really bothered now because I didn't get my hands on it. But I will. It's temporarily out of stock on Amazon, and I cannot get on Book Depository because some of their decks are in stock and some of them aren't. I have no idea what's going on. But I know a lot of people in the UK can still order off Book Depository. I can, but only as a pre-order, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. But anyway, I did a walkthrough of this deck, so if you want to go see that, I will link it below if I remember to. I'm brutal. Sorry, you guys, my hair and this top, I don't know where I wore this top. It's driving me nuts. But we're going to just persevere. This is gorgeous. It gives me Amsterdam vibes. And for those of you that don't know, I'm half Dutch. My mom is Dutch. And I'm obviously have links to Holland or the Netherlands. And I just adore. I went to Amsterdam for my 21st for the first time because we normally went up north. And I loved Amsterdam. Oh my god. So this gives me Amsterdam feels. So this is a combination of like light and shadow or dark, whichever way you want to pronounce it or say it. Like, I'm going to lose half the cards here. So that's, and you know, even if crows aren't your thing, this is just a gorgeous deck. I love the art style in it. I really, really love her art style. The first deck that I got from her was the Guardians of the Night Tarot. And that is gorgeous. That is stunning. And I never knew it was actually not a mass market, sorry. It was an indie published deck. And then it came to mass market. So and yeah, like I said, there's 54 cards. So you have plenty to be diving into. The guidebook as well is so. But what I love about the imagery on this, I love this ghost card, is that really, especially when you're beginning, and I remember even learning and studying cards, the first thing they'll always tell you is throw away the guidebook. I don't, because I also like to see the artists or the creators in, you know, their vision of the deck and, you know, what was their interpretation of the cards and things like that. So I do like to take that into consideration. But I know if I'm using it for readings, I truly 100% go with my own intuition, what I'm picking up, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, hearing. You know, you're using all your senses, right? So with these decks, you can 100% use your own intuition. Like, oh my gosh, we'll pick one here. So night, you know, what are you getting from that? Like, for me, there's a lot of crows gathered, and nighttime for me anyway, personally, is kind of that stillness, that quietness, where you're just enjoying contemplating life, right? And where it's more like you're kind of mulling your thoughts over, maybe you're mulling the day over. And you know, especially, you know, you have full moon here, so it could be illuminating something as well. You know, it's completion. You know, full moons are that full circle. And then you can go to the guidebook then if you wanted to, and refer back to that to see what else can you maybe take from the guidebook to help you with that. So that would be kind of roughly how I would interpret it. I always put my guidebooks in first. Does anybody else do that? Put their guidebook in first and then the deck? Or is that just me? Because I like to be able to just take the cards out and go. I don't necessarily always use the guidebook, but if I'm doing cards for myself, I like to get as much detail and in-depth as I possibly can. Right, last, but certainly not least, is the Sacred Forest Oracle by Denise Lynn. This is a 52 card to open energy portals to a higher dimension. And this is a gorgeous deck for this time of year, I feel, because, you know, forest and earthy feels, and it is a gorgeous deck, to be fair. I don't know why I don't work with it as much as or as little as I do, to be honest. It's beautiful matte cardstock. I think I did a walkthrough of that as well. I'm not sure. I'll link it below if I have, if you want to see that. But I know probably loads others have done it. So if you want to see their walkthrough, that's totally fine as well. But the backs of these are so cute. Look at that. I was going to say it's a unicorn. It's not. It's Pegasus, right? Isn't that who? I'm not the best with mythical creatures and stuff like that. I'd always love to learn more about them, but I think this has such a lovely autumnal feel to it. Slightly spring now that I'm looking at this as well. And I like decks that you can use seasonal as well, but you can use it for one season or another. It's not just like the Halloween Oracle is solely yes, I could incorporate that, but I didn't feel for beginners that this would be an ideal deck, or that would be an ideal deck. This, yeah, because like look at that. You have your number and then your title and then a keyword, and you could really journal and go in depth with this. Or if you're doing a reading for somebody, you know, it's great to have those keywords, and there's just, you could get lost in that imagery. And the imagery to me is important because I needed to spark my intuition, because I like the creativeness. I don't want too much simplicity on my cards either. Now I don't want it overloaded with lots of images, but I just needed enough to go, oh, yes. And then it starts sparking different things that I'm seeing in my mind, and so it's a difficult one. I love that. Ah, Pegasus. I was right. So this card would probably be a little confusing because you have here and then you have the back. So personally, I would have done the backs differently, but I mean, that is so minuscule. Like, that is such a minor detail. Take a look at that. Oh, the Spirit Guardian of Autumn. And here we are talking about autumn. I love that. Like, even the butterfly spirit, transformation, change. Like, oh, I love that. Or even the fire spirit energy. Like there's just, okay, this makes me want to delve deeper in with this deck. I might actually just leave it out. But yes, that is the decks that I recommend for beginners if you're just starting out, or you know, maybe you want to get more beginner friendly decks. Maybe, you know, you bought a deck that was just a little bit too much for you to handle, and that's totally fine. I have decks like that where I'm like, oh, that's a bit out of my depth at the moment, but you can find, you come back in a couple of months or, you know, even weeks, and it just clicks. And sometimes your decks will click with you at certain seasons, and other times they might not. But do please let me know in the comments below what your favorite autumn or seasonal decks, it doesn't even have to be autumn, I'm just going with the seasons here, what your favorite decks are, because I love walkthroughs and I love hearing what other people's decks are and whatnot. But I hope you do enjoy this video. I wanted to keep it kind of somewhat short and sweet, and yes, I will see you all in the next video and chat to you all real soon, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and yeah, bye guys.